In the vast expanse of spiritual exploration, there exists a concept both intriguing and unsettling: the false light. It's a term that resonates with those who delve into the depths of consciousness, offering a lens through which to understand the complexities of our spiritual journey. The false light represents a fragmented aspect of consciousness, originating from a realm beyond our physical reality, yet deeply intertwined with it. At its core, the false light embodies the illusion of duality, perpetuating a cosmic drama between forces of good and evil. Within this realm, consciousness is fragmented, polarized, and engaged in an eternal battle, unaware of its disconnected state. Entities within the false light project their influence into our reality, shaping belief systems, institutions, and even technology. Understanding the false light is paramount for those seeking genuine spiritual evolution. It challenges us to discern truth from deception, to reclaim our sovereignty over consciousness, and to transcend the illusions of duality. In this exploration, we'll uncover 7 ways in which the false light infiltrates our spirituality, hindering our quest for enlightenment and perpetuating cycles of spiritual amnesia. Join me as we embark on a journey to unravel the mysteries of the false light and reclaim our true spiritual sovereignty. Number 1. The illusion of duality, good versus evil. The illusion of duality perpetuated by the false light is perhaps one of its most profound and insidious effects on our spirituality. Embedded within the fabric of the 4th dimension, this illusion manifests as a cosmic battleground where forces of good and evil engage in an eternal struggle. However, unlike the harmonious interplay of energies within true source consciousness, this dichotomy arises from a fragmented and distorted light, the false light. This fragmented light projects its influence into our 3rd dimensional reality, shaping our perceptions and experiences. We become ensnared in a dualistic paradigm where everything is viewed through the lens of good versus evil. This binary thinking imposes limitations on our understanding of spirituality, obscuring the inherent interconnectedness of all things. In this false paradigm, we lose sight of the deeper truths that transcend polarities. Rather than recognizing the inherent unity and oneness of existence, we become entrenched in divisive beliefs and conflicts. This narrow perspective hinders our spiritual growth, preventing us from accessing higher states of consciousness and realizing our true potential. By perpetuating the illusion of duality, the false light traps us in a cycle of separation and conflict, obscuring the path to true enlightenment. Number 2. Fragmentation of consciousness. The fragmentation of consciousness induced by the false light is a profound and pervasive consequence of its influence on our spiritual journey. Within the realm it governs, entities exist in a state of extreme polarization, embodying either perceived notions of good or evil. These entities, whether perceived as angels or demons, are ensnared in an endless conflict, oblivious to the fragmented nature of their existence. In this perpetual battle, entities mirror each other's unintegrated aspects, perpetuating a cycle of discord and disharmony. This continuous conflict drains and siphons energy from human consciousness, leaving us depleted and disoriented. We find ourselves caught in a state of spiritual amnesia, severed from our true selves and the unity of source consciousness. The false light infiltrates every aspect of our reality, co-opting belief systems, religions, and even technological advancements to further its agenda. Our spiritual practices and institutions become corrupted, serving as conduits for the extraction of soul essence. This insidious process leaves us energetically depleted and spiritually fragmented, perpetuating the cycle of separation from our true essence. As a result, we find ourselves trapped in a perpetual cycle of spiritual amnesia, disconnected from the unity and wholeness of source consciousness. Our fragmented state leaves us vulnerable to manipulation and exploitation, perpetuating the cycle of separation and disconnection. Number 3. Synthetic hierarchies and ego worship. Synthetic hierarchies and ego worship, orchestrated by the false light, represent a pervasive and detrimental aspect of our spiritual journey. Within these distorted hierarchies, individuals are ensnared in a web of ego-driven ambition and power dynamics, perpetuating a cycle of spiritual stagnation and disconnection from our true essence. The false light thrives on the establishment of hierarchical structures characterized by militaristic and authoritarian tendencies. These hierarchies permeate various aspects of our society, including the military-industrial complex and other institutional frameworks. Within these systems, individuals are indoctrinated into believing that ascending through the ranks equates to spiritual enlightenment. However, this illusion of hierarchy serves only to reinforce the ego's grip on our consciousness, diverting our attention from genuine spiritual growth. In this labyrinth of ego and rank, individuals become entangled in a cycle of power and control, where status and authority overshadow the pursuit of true enlightenment. Rather than fostering unity and interconnectedness, synthetic hierarchies perpetuate division and discord, further entrenching us in the illusions of separation and duality. The false light's manipulation of hierarchical structures reinforces the ego's dominance, keeping us trapped in a perpetual cycle of spiritual stagnation and disempowerment. As long as we remain ensnared in these synthetic hierarchies, our spiritual growth will be stunted, and our connection to source consciousness will remain obscured. Number 4. Spiritual deception and fake spiritual figures. Spiritual deception orchestrated by the false light represents a particularly treacherous aspect of our spiritual journey. As we elevate our consciousness and strive for deeper spiritual understanding, the false light adapts and morphs into forms that are increasingly difficult to discern. At higher levels of consciousness, it may present itself as revered spiritual figures such as a fake Jesus or other divine entities, preying on our vulnerability and lack of discernment. These imposter energies capitalize on our innate desire for connection to higher powers, exploiting our trust and leading us astray. They manipulate our perceptions and lower our frequencies, effectively rerouting us back into the false light's matrix. This deceptive tactic keeps us ensnared in its web of illusion, hindering our spiritual growth and perpetuating cycles of spiritual amnesia. The false light's ability to mimic genuine spiritual guides is a testament to its cunning and insidious nature. By masquerading as divine beings, it capitalizes on our reverence and trust, further entrenching us in its deceptive web. These imposter energies undermine our spiritual journey, distorting our perception of truth and leading us away from genuine spiritual enlightenment. Number 5. Controlled opposition and inverted realities. Controlled opposition, a tactic employed by the false light, serves as a potent tool to undermine and obstruct our spiritual evolution. In our third-dimensional reality, this insidious strategy manifests through seemingly oppositional institutions that purportedly challenge dominant power structures. However, upon closer examination, it becomes evident that these entities are merely cogs in the same parasitic system orchestrated by the false light. These controlled opposition figures present themselves as champions of truth and justice, offering partial truths to lure us into their deceptive web. By cloaking themselves in the guise of rebellion, they prey on our desire for liberation and enlightenment, exploiting our vulnerabilities to mislead us further into the labyrinth of deception. This tactic creates a fog of confusion and division, obscuring the true nature of our spiritual reality and perpetuating cycles of conflict and opposition. Rather than fostering unity and understanding, controlled opposition exacerbates discord and distrust, keeping us ensnared in a state of perpetual conflict. By sowing seeds of confusion and division, controlled opposition undermines our ability to discern truth from deception, further entrenching us in the illusions of separation and duality. It stifles our spiritual growth and inhibits our journey toward enlightenment, trapping us in a cycle of perpetual conflict and opposition. Number 6. Recycling of souls and spiritual amnesia. The concept of recycling souls and spiritual amnesia, perpetuated by the false light, encapsulates a profound and unsettling aspect of our spiritual journey. In many conscious communities and spiritual circles, it serves as a cornerstone of understanding, shedding light on the cyclical nature of existence within the false light's matrix. As we navigate the complexities of our spiritual evolution, our failure to cultivate spiritual sovereignty and discernment leaves us vulnerable to the manipulations of the false light. Without the ability to discern truth from deception, we become ensnared in its web, perpetuating a cycle of reincarnation within its confines. This endless cycle of reincarnation serves to perpetuate spiritual amnesia, severing our connection to our true essence and perpetuating a state of ignorance. Within the false light's matrix, extreme polarization and fragmentation reign supreme, further entrenching us in a state of separation from our oneness and divinity. The false light's relentless promotion of duality and fragmentation ensures that we remain trapped in a cycle of suffering and ignorance, unable to realize our true potential. By obscuring the inherent unity and interconnectedness of all things, it perpetuates a state of spiritual disconnection, hindering our ability to break free from its grip. Number 7. Technology and synthetic timelines. The influence of the false light on our spirituality extends to the realm of technology and the creation of synthetic timelines, representing a significant obstacle on our path to enlightenment. While technology itself is neutral, capable of either facilitating or obstructing our spiritual evolution, the false light manipulates it to perpetuate synthetic timelines that masquerade as pathways to higher consciousness. These synthetic timelines are crafted to give the illusion of progress and advancement, presenting themselves as avenues for spiritual growth and evolution. However, beneath their veneer of enlightenment lies a sinister agenda aimed at trapping us within the confines of the false light's matrix. By seducing us with promises of technological advancement and artificial progress, the false light lures us into a state of complacency and spiritual stagnation. These synthetic timelines serve to perpetuate a false sense of evolution, keeping us locked in a perpetual cycle of reincarnation within the false light's domain. Rather than facilitating genuine spiritual growth, they lead us further away from our true path and spiritual sovereignty, ensnaring us in a web of deception and illusion. The false light's manipulation of technology not only distorts our perception of reality, but also hinders our ability to discern genuine spiritual growth from artificial constructs. By blurring the lines between authenticity and deception, it perpetuates a state of spiritual disconnection, keeping us enslaved within its matrix. In conclusion, the false light is a complex and deceptive force that significantly impacts our spiritual journeys. By creating illusions of duality, fragmenting our consciousness, establishing synthetic hierarchies, and deceiving us with fake spiritual figures, it keeps us trapped in cycles of ignorance and suffering. However, by cultivating discernment and spiritual sovereignty, we can rise above the false light and achieve true enlightenment. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into the false light and its effects on our spirituality. I hope this has provided you with valuable insights and elevated your understanding of this profound topic. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to our channel for more higher dimensional guidance through spiritual awakenings. Until next time, stay discerning and stay sovereign.